Now picture this. You meet someone, then you go on a few dates. Next you're in a relationship. Then it progresses to an engagement and progresses to a marriage. You have a few kids. You've been married for 5 years. Now it's 10 years. Now it's 15 years. But then something happens and you decide to get divorced. And you process your divorce papers. You go to court and you two get divorced. Then a few years later, you realize that the reason you got divorced wasn't that big of a reason, and you want to reconcile, you want to get back together. Now, the question is, does the Bible allow you to get back together with someone that you got divorced to? Now, I'm going to take this reading from Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 1 to 4. And it says this: when a man takes a wife and marries her, if then she finds no favor in his eyes because he has found some indecency in her, and he writes her a certificate of divorce and puts it in her hand and sends her out of his house, and she departs out of his house, and if she goes and becomes another man's wife, and the latter man hates her and writes her a certificate of divorce and puts it in her hand and sends her out of his house, or if the latter man dies who took her to be his wife, then her former husband who sent her away may not take her again to be his wife after she has been defiled, for that is an abomination before the Lord. And you shall not bring sin upon the land that the Lord your God is giving you for an inheritance. So according to the law of Moses, if you get divorced and either of you get remarried to someone else, and then that marriage does not work out or the person passes away, you can't get back together. Okay, so you can't break up today, go and marry other people, then get divorced to those people, then 15 years later you say you want to come back. No, according to the law of Moses, the book of Deuteronomy, that's an abomination. So before you file for divorce, make sure that you know that and understand that the possibility of you getting back together with your spouse, it's minimal, right? Because it's very likely that after you break up, you guys are going to meet other people, get married to other people. So before you make a decision to really separate yourself from someone, understand that the separation is very likely to be permanent. Unless, of course, neither of you get married and then you decide to get back together, etc., etc., then that's an exception. But just remember that if you lose them, or if you chase them away, there's a possibility that you've lost or chased them away for life.